The fluorescent lights of the yogurt shop hummed a monotonous tune, casting an eerie glow over the cheerful pastel decor. It was December 6, 1991, in Austin, Texas, a city known for its vibrant music scene, its quirky charm, and its fiercely independent spirit. But on that night, the heart of Austin shuddered. The lives of four vibrant teenage girls, full of promise and dreams, were about to be extinguished, leaving an unfillable void in their families' lives and a chilling mystery that would haunt the city for decades. Amy Ayers, a bright and bubbly girl with a contagious laugh, worked at the shop. She was known for her quick wit and her ability to make every customer feel like a friend. Her friends remember her as a ray of sunshine, someone who approached life with an infectious enthusiasm. Eliza Thomas, a kind and gentle soul, was also employed there. Eliza possessed a quiet strength, often found with a book in her hands or lost in thought, yet she always had a compassionate word for everyone she met. Sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbison, inseparable in life, were regulars. Jennifer, the elder sister, was known for her adventurous spirit and her leadership qualities, always organizing outings and activities for her friends. Sarah, just a year younger, mirrored her sister's warmth and had a gentle, artistic sensibility. These four young women, with their futures stretching before them like a newly paved road, were the core of this tragedy. On that fateful night, they were all at the I Can't Believe It's Yogurt shop, a popular hangout for local teens, preparing to close for the evening. The shop, situated in a bustling strip mall on a well-trafficked avenue, was usually filled with the sweet aroma of frozen yogurt and the effervescent chatter of its young patrons. The air inside, even as the day wound down, was often thick with the scent of sugary toppings and the murmur of teenage gossip. They were chatting, laughing, and making plans for the weekend, completely unaware of the darkness that was about to descend upon them, turning a place of youthful exuberance into a scene of unimaginable horror. Austin itself, in 1991, was a city on the cusp of rapid growth, but it still retained a laid-back, bohemian charm that drew artists and musicians from all over. The streets of South Congress pulsed with live music, and the University of Texas campus was a hub of youthful energy. This particular yogurt shop, nestled amongst other small businesses, was more than just a place to grab a treat. It was a sanctuary for teenagers, a safe haven where friendships were forged and weekend plans were hatched. The evening had been ordinary, the fading light of a Texas winter day casting long shadows across the parking lot, a quiet prelude to the night's unspeakable events. The strip mall, typical of its era, was a collection of businesses catering to the local community, a place where people ran errands and teenagers sought respite. The yogurt shop, with its bright signage and promise of sweet indulgence, was a beacon in the everyday. It was a place where the mundane could briefly be forgotten, replaced by the simple pleasure of ice cream and good company. The girls, closing up after a busy day, likely had their minds on homework, upcoming school events, or weekend outings, their youthful optimism a stark contrast to the grim reality that awaited them. The bright, inviting facade of the yogurt shop, with its rainbow of colors and the promise of sweet delights, stood in stark opposition to the horror that would soon unfold. It was a place of laughter and friendship, a mundane setting for an event that would forever etch itself into the city's psyche. Then, in a twist of fate that offered a glimmer of hope, a name resurfaced: Robert Brashers. Brashers was not a stranger to law enforcement. He was a known serial killer, a man who had left a trail of violence and destruction across the country, preying on the vulnerable and leaving behind a wake of devastation. He was a predator who thrived on the fear and suffering of others, a phantom of terror for communities he had touched. He had been convicted of other violent crimes and was serving time in prison when investigators, relentlessly pursuing any avenue that might bring closure, began to examine whether he could be connected to the yogurt shop murders. His name had been brought up previously by informants and in passing by investigators in other jurisdictions, but until the advent and refinement of modern DNA evidence, there was never any concrete, irrefutable proof that could withstand legal scrutiny. The meticulous work of DNA analysis, a scientific advancement that was not as readily available in 1991, proved to be the key. Forensic scientists were able to re-examine old evidence with new technologies. The cold case unit, never truly dormant, had been reactivated with fresh eyes and new tools, breathing life back into the desperate search for answers. This renewed focus on forensic science, a field that had seen exponential growth in the decades since the murders, offered a beacon of hope that had previously been extinguished. The painstaking re-examination of every piece of evidence, from the smallest fiber to the most minute biological trace, became a testament to the dedication of those who refused to let this case fade into obscurity. The news reverberated throughout Austin, a city still bearing the scars of the tragedy. After more than 30 years, the families of the victims, who had lived with the agonizing torment of not knowing, finally had an answer. The weight of the unknown, the constant gnawing doubt, and the phantom presence of a faceless killer had been lifted. While the truth was agonizing, it was also a crucial step towards healing. They could finally begin to piece together some form of closure, to understand the full scope of the evil that had shattered their lives. The confirmation, however, came with a profound and tragic irony. Robert Brasher's was already dead. He had died in prison, succumbing to natural causes, taking his darkest secrets and the full measure of his depravity to the grave. He could never be brought to justice in the traditional sense, never stand trial, never face his accusers or the families he had so cruelly wronged. The families, while they now had a name, a face to attach to the unimaginable horror that had befallen their daughters, could not see him face the consequences of his heinous actions in a court of law. The announcement of Brasher's connection was met with a complex mixture of relief and profound sorrow. The relief stemmed from finally having a definitive answer, from knowing that the evil that had touched their lives had been identified. But the sorrow was immense, a lament for the justice that would never be fully realized, for the lost opportunity to see the perpetrator held accountable in the public eye. The confirmation of Brasher's guilt, therefore, was a deeply bittersweet victory. It was a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice by dedicated investigators who never gave up hope, even when the trail seemed cold. It was a vindication for the innocent lives that had been so brutally taken, and a measure of closure for their grieving families. But the truth also brought the stark realization that there would be no trial, no sentencing, no public reckoning. The killer, an embodiment of pure evil, would never answer for his heinous acts in a way that brought tangible retribution. The impact of the yogurt shop murders continues to reverberate throughout Austin. The case has become a grim symbol of the enduring pain of unsolved crimes and the long shadow they cast. The memories of Amy, Eliza, Jennifer, and Sarah live on, their faces and stories etched in the hearts of those who knew and loved them, and in the collective memory of the city. The yogurt shop itself, once a beacon of youthful fun and innocent teenage camaraderie, was eventually closed and repurposed, its very walls forever linked to the tragic events of that December night, a silent witness to a profound loss. The story serves as a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of youth and the enduring impact of senseless violence, urging communities to remain vigilant and to never forget the innocent lives lost to the darkness. The enduring legacy of the yogurt shop murders is a solemn reminder of the importance of scientific advancement in the pursuit of justice and the unfailing hope that even the coldest of cases can, one day, yield answers, however painful they may be. The passage of time, coupled with advancements in technology, ultimately brought a form of resolution, offering solace to those who had for so long endured the agonizing silence of the unknown.